Okay, thank you so very much, Woodley.
Thank you.
Um, as you guys see, the presentations were naturally very complimentary.
Yeah.
So let's take some time to reflect on what Woodley and Jean-Philippe have just shared with us. Um, on the mural board, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And I want Woodley and Jean-Philippe in particular to look at what we've captured thus far. Okay. Everyone's seeing my screen, correct?
Yes.
All right. Everyone can access it directly as well if you want to go in there. Okay. So what we have in the middle here, and we have a lot of local producers that are within this session today. I mean, Martin is also a local producer. I mentioned that earlier. We have Clélie Cauvin, who's in pharmaceuticals. We have quite a few people that have their own experience. We have Marc-Olivier Célestin, who's also in local production. So for production and for promoting consommer local, these are the main concepts that we've captured. And so looking at, raw material purchasing, finding the right human resources, cost and inflations, security, and then looking at, some of the techniques, the energy, the proper packaging, for promoting our products, to encouraging more people to purchase it. That's a big deal. The traceability, the logistics, the transportation of things. These are a few of the items, and even the benefits that we've been able to capture in this. So now let's take 10 minutes to think through. So these are some of the challenges that all of our producers are facing. This isn't just about La Belle. This isn't even just about Consommer Local. As a producer, these items touch everyone across the board. And so, let's pick and choose 2 and 3 and think about some of the solutions. So Jean-Philippe and Woodley in particular, but the floor is open to everyone to think through, okay, what are the main low-hanging fruits that are so key and so important that everyone is challenged with, that an emphasis is needed to address these issues, so that producers can produce more and so that consumers can consume more as well. It's that basic, and unfortunately we don't give it the attention that it should. So let's give it some attention today. And I feel like the security piece is so important, and it's so across the board. There's really no going around that. Depuis situation de sécurité pas adressée, everything is impacted, everything is affected. And this is, this should be a piece where you can have a concerted effort behind it. I'm seeing Sylvie Loco, who's on this chat, in this conversation as well, that I know is very involved in the security piece. Can you speak to some of those, let's say, the challenges, because that safety, that security committee where citizens have rallied to address this issue that's facing everyone, what would you say is the biggest impediment for progress for you guys?
I think it's a mindset issue. Everybody's right now is so scared to do. Everybody's talking, everybody's complaining, everybody's understanding the gravity of the situation, but is afraid to act. And I think it's it's our general mindset is that, but what can we do? The security has reached a point where it's psychologically paralyzing, and we're not equipped with the mindset to be able to change it. It's been almost 40 years of ingrained trauma that is very, very hard to get past. But there are solutions, but everybody is not equipped with the words and the mindset to understand their individual value potential to make a difference. It's and I'm getting all these words, and it's because I've been trying to figure out by listening to other people outside and trying to understand the mindset. We need to understand that we are living in a traumatic 24/7, 365 days a year trauma. We have it's a war zone in our heads 24/7. We're afraid all the time. And unless we decide to face that and really get together past that obstacle, we're still going to be afraid.
Yeah.
And it's this everything about the security started very small and exploded because everybody was, well, it's not me, it's happening to the other. It's not happening to me. And we've always tried to protect ourselves instead of thinking community. We were not raised and conditioned early on to live as a community. And it's about education. It's about, again, mindset. I think everyone should. It's all the security issues. You know, everything is related. You're right. Everything is related to security, but it needs to come from individual in order to become bigger and to become national.
Yeah.
Solutions, I'm still trying to figure that one out.
But I think you nailed it. I think the blocker for the security that everyone is facing is the mindset and the individualistic mentality that's preventing us from addressing it collectively. I think you nailed it right then. I want to give some time to some of the other topics if you allow as well. You know, if we look at perhaps cost and inflation, which Jean-Philippe identified as a big issue. I mean, this is, you know, the issues of inflation is economics. You know, it's not what one person does, it's what's happening all around.
Exactly.
And it's, you know, I feel like a lot of these things, it's similar, where, you know, you spoke about the individualistic versus the collective. It smacks us in the face for so many of the issues and addressing some of the issues. I'm seeing Martine's hand up, please. To everybody. But you have to unmute yourself first, Martine.
Yes. So yeah, coming back to those 2 points, cost and even security or whatever, a lot of the things it would come back eventually if we come to me to the policy things. My thing is we are not talking. There's a lot of things going around us, but the local policies are adding to the problems, and nobody's seeing this. We know I don't want to say the reform, but whatever is going on at customs right now, the cost of distribution is extremely high because of security issues. I don't know if the consumer in X, Y, or Z, obviously there's a conversation around decentralization. However, the consumer that I want to reach in the northern part or the southern part, we're jumping through loops to be able to give them that product. So I have to take a boat, take a truck, continue there with all the possibilities of losing that truck. Same thing to the north. Now it's no longer only the south, the routing. Today, you can even take a boat and go to Semoc, and from Semoc, you cannot get to Gonaive. This is how close things are, but because of that insecurity situation, I cannot get to my consumer. So what is happening is that it's also, comment ça veut dire là, étouffer les producteurs locaux, whether it's services, it could be national, the people that do the wells. I forgot the name of that company. They have a project in the north. They can't do it because they cannot get gas. So it stops local production, manufacturing, whether it's agricultural goods, industrial goods, services, from reaching and making the country functional. And so that costs, and I think that's the conversation, and that is missing between the policymakers and us as players. First of all, they don't understand what we're doing. And then secondly, we're not aligning, we're not trusting each other. And then there's not that common vision to solve those situations. And that's where the problem lies in my eyes.
Thank you. So not a common effort from, let's say, producers to share, or not share, but to advocate needs.
Well, they have to listen. I don't know if we don't advocate. There's not that trust, I think, or that conversation that is clear, that is built on trust.
Between producers, or between the producers and the soi-disant policy?
Exactly.
So looking at those aspects, is there anything that, if there was a more concerted effort to, let's say, stop the individualistic mentality and do more of the collective, what is feasible? I mean, we have Wiki who's here as well, who's used to working hard, trying to get multiple stakeholders around the table for mutual interests. I mean, the security piece is clear. I see Clély's hand went up. I see Wiki's hand is up as well. So Clély, you were first. Je te passe la parole. Clély?
Yes, hi everybody. Moi, je veux un petit peu aller dans le sens de Jean-Philippe, parce que bon, moi aussi, je suis dans la production locale et je suis particulièrement dans un domaine qui est très contraignant, qui est le domaine de la production et pharmaceutique. Et je vais un petit peu commenter les talents. Les talents et les ressources humaines, si on veut, le manque de formation des ressources humaines. Ce que Jean-Philippe a dit, it's true, and c'est vraiment contraignant, parce que c'est vrai qu'on a des écoles en Haïti qui forment les étudiants. On a les écoles de pharmacie, on a une école de chimie, I think one or two. On a une école de on a several pharmaceutical schools. Et en fait, quand la formation n'est pas à niveau des exigences de l'industrie. Donc, quand ils arrivent, ou bien ils ne peuvent absolument pas suivre les exigences des normes, des exigences, parce qu'ils n'ont jamais fait de normes, ils n'ont jamais appris le système de la qualité, ils n'ont jamais appris ça. Donc, il y a une formation qu'il faut faire avec eux, qui prend énormément de temps, qui prend énormément de ressources, mais il se trouve aussi que they cannot, ils n'arrivent pas. Les rares qui arrivent, bon, il n'y en a pas beaucoup, mais il y en a qui arrivent quand même, mais la majeure partie n'arrive pas. So we are struggling with that. And c'est pas forcément évident aussi d'avoir des ressources de l'extérieur. Parce que tout ce qu'on a dit là est vrai, la sécurité, l'insécurité, le niveau économique du pays ne nous permet pas non plus d'avoir des ressources performantes ou bien des ressources mieux formées de l'extérieur. Et le deuxième challenge maintenant, c'est l'immigration. Donc, tu as tous ceux qui étaient un petit peu bien formés qui s'en vont. Avec l'insécurité qu'il y a, we have any means to retain them. On ne peut pas les retenir, on ne peut pas les garder. Donc, le challenge des talents est vraiment, vraiment bon. Peut-être pour nous, dans l'industrie pharmaceutique, il y a toutes les autres composantes, mais le challenge des ressources, des talent retention est vraiment, vraiment, vraiment quelque chose de très compliqué pour nous. Et je pense que après la solution de l'insécurité, l'une des solutions serait de retourner dans la formation universitaire, de retourner dans la formation technologique et de regarder les curriculums et de regarder comment arriver à avoir des talents locaux qui peuvent avoir le minimum, qui puissent they could comply with the requirements. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment, et je suis vraiment très d'accord avec Jean-Philippe, c'est vraiment compliqué. Donc, pour moi, ce serait retourner dans les curriculums de formation et professionnels, de formation universitaire et réorganiser tout ça pour que les talents qui viennent aux jeunes, bon, je pense que ce n'est pas seulement dans le domaine pharmaceutique, c'est dans tous les domaines, mais comme j'évolue dans ce domaine-là et je le connais bien, donc il faut vraiment qu'on pense à reformer cette organisation qui s'appelle la formation universitaire.
Okay. Merci, clearly. And I know that le nom de la compagnie m'échappe. You guys are actually very active in Formatrix. Voilà, sorry, Formatrix. You guys are
I'm
very
sorry,
active.
I didn't mean Formatrix.
You guys are very active in social responsibility and building up your team. Like you guys are one of the pioneers, one of the leaders in that. And it's, to hear that despite those efforts, you're still struggling.
Oh, yes.
And
what we particularly do, ce qu'on fait, on leur donne des stages, ok? On complète la formation pour eux. Comme si we have partnership with UNDH and with FMB to give them, leur donner des stages de fait d'études, but they're only stage. So on n'est pas vraiment, we're not involved in the curriculum. On n'a pas la latitude pour aller dans le curriculum. We may work toward that, mais pour le moment, c'est pas encore ça. Donc, je pense que c'est quelque chose, c'est un de nos objectifs aussi dans la responsabilité sociale, d'aller nous asseoir avec les responsables d'université, de dire, listen, on n'a pas ce qu'on veut, on n'a pas ce qu'on doit avoir, so we can do better with them.
So more concerted effort there. Très bien. OK. Merci, Clélie. Qui, je vais te donner un moment aussi. I have to be a bit tough on the timing because I want us to end on time because it's Saturday. And I know you guys want to relax as well. Merci beaucoup pour ça, Clélie. Wiki, tu es là?
Oui, merci, Régine, et merci aux intervenants. Okay, so I'll make it quick. Et j'aimerais dire deux choses. Une réaction à la présentation sur le scaling et autres de Jean-Philippe. Et là, I encourage, I'll say it in English, our member Plastic Solutions, Malik Radia, who's also on board has been able to scale amazingly in Haiti, despite the most challenging environment we've had over the last few years. And at an ISO certification level, where Coca-Cola International, Heineken International, and so on recognize and approve him as a vendor. So I think, as Jean-Philippe said, it is doable despite the harsh socioeconomic environment. And I think at some point, hopefully, if we have time or at another session, I would love for Malik to share his experience of over 30 years on the local market. It is doable. We have other examples of Caribbean food manufacturing that produces the cornflakes. We have HM Group that produces toys that and they all export, so to global standards. The second reaction is to Martine. You know, a colleague of ours on our board reminded us of Theodore Roosevelt's saying, in any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. The worst thing you can do is nothing. And this leads me to share with everyone why we at ID and other members of the formal business sector finally decided to join and support the December 21st consensus and the HCT, where we have, of course, our economic private sector representative, Lua Cecile. The insecurity, a state, the governing body of any state, like the parents in a family, have the obligation and responsibility to protect, to serve and to protect, not just the police. So we are in a governance crisis, and until we can change that paradigm, we won't get to first base. There are so many things we citizens can do, and I think we're all in the same wavelength, but there are areas that is the obligation and the priority of the government. And this is why we're moving in closer on an official basis as advisors. We will weigh in very strongly and firmly, and we will hopefully succeed in getting better decisions made at the national governance level. It's do or die. It's crunch time. There's no room for error or very little, and failure is not an option. Today, we're talking, weeks. We have to show results that will build trust in the Haut Conseil de Transition and build a new momentum so that the population feels, there's something good and serious happening. And that's where we are today. So yes, there is involvement. Yes, there is engaging strongly, and it has to work. If it doesn't work, then obviously we will have to clearly state that it's not working and why, but we're all in this together. So that is happening as we speak. So we encourage everybody to get behind the effort, to encourage those who have not yet signed on to, once they get comfortable, to do so. It's a national effort. It's not a political party, one side versus the other. It's all about the country. So I know I could go longer, but we're short on time. I wanted to plant those two points out there, and hopefully we can expand on them at some other time. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Wiki. Very much so appreciated. Before we wrap up this segment on national production and national consumption, I want to make sure that we end with a bit of identifying what needs to be reinforced, where the engagement needs to happen from a higher number of people. We spoke about security, and we spoke a bit about this mindset, this mentality where people are not acting, people are doing that worst thing that Wiki quoted Theodore Roosevelt is doing nothing. And we have certain efforts that are being done, certain efforts that are in progress. But you have, let's say, an environment, a business environment that's held up to its ultimate limit. And so let's wrap this segment here with, okay, so we spoke about the problems. We spoke a little bit about some of the solutions that are in the works. Is there anything that, let's say, what is the thing, 1, 2, or 3 that we can agree with as being, part of the actions that need to happen? Wiki had referenced Malik. I know Malik is online. I don't know if you want to say anything. Other speakers, feel free, because I know you're also very much so involved. Is it the chambers of commerce that we need more people involved in, and it's pushing the chambers of commerce to that have the role, the mission to do these things. It's what I've seen over the years is that the chambers of commerce are partially weak because of it's not inclusive. It's usually the same typical suspects that are there. And getting fresh blood, getting more people involved, and bringing new needed energy to address these issues, but also ensuring that the chambers are well staffed, well equipped to do the heavy lifting that needs to be done. Those are some important elements in making sure that the insights are properly extracted from the business community, because they're the ones who know what is needed. So it's that constant back and forth that has to happen for the overarching goals to actually be achieved. So I see Wiki's hand is up and Woodley's hand is up. Woodley, je vais te passer d'abord.
Yes, I wanted to add something. Somebody talked about decentralization, and I think to restore the Haitian society to its original stability based on professional distribution of work, where each category respects the other by virtue. It's either you do zonyon, I do tomate. I'm still talking about local production and the professional qualities, its function, and in the social balance, its participation in the national economy, its decentralization. I'm gonna explain myself. You have your neighbor right here that is from, let's say, from Okai or from Marmalade, but their parents are from there, but not them. They never went there, and they have a load of terrain, they had a load of stuff already there, but ils préfèrent rester à Port-au-Prince. Ça aussi peut contribuer à l'avancement du pays au point de vue local consumption, because everybody is giving something. You don't stay in Port-au-Prince eating in the morning spaghetti and then pain à café and stuff. We have so much. You have so much, but so little heads to understand. Everybody can help. It's not only staying in Port-au-Prince and complaining. It's also go back to where your roots are. You understand? I'm still talking about local production, local consumption, and of course, transportation from these particular points to come to Port-au-Prince is impossible. Well, deal with the people around you. If you're okay, deal with people in Miragwan. If you're in Jeremy, deal with people in Osavo. Us they know, you understand, so that you can really help enhance the your professional qualities and also the national economy. That's my point. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. It would be la décentralisation. So working to to enable that better. Wiki, did you want to say something?
Yes, thank you. So I'll quickly react to what Woodley said. You know, for years, we've been trying to preach the quality of life outside of the Republic of Port-au-Prince is so much better. And today, with technology, solar energy, and of course the internet, it's easier to do. And a lot of people think that, you know, life is better for some reason in Port-au-Prince. Well, it's the urban cowboy phenomenon. It's not just in Haiti, but the quality of life outside in the countryside is maybe something to be stressed more, to encourage people to say, hey, let me at least go take a look. Let me go see the old folks up there and see, man, what kind of balance do they have in their life? And you know what? It's zen. It's better for your health. It's great. So, yes, Woodley, I think there's something to be done there, and a new message to pitch out there, illustrating it, you know, with the quality of life out there. To answer your specific question, Regine, I think all of the above. We need to leverage our efforts through associations, whether they be business, whether they be social. You're very involved with Cafu l'Espoir. That needs to be continued and reinforced. There's La Culape in the peace building. Also, people need to reinforce all these groups that have an impact in the socioeconomic life of our country. Because trying to do something individually is fine and great, but we won't get the scaling we're talking about, like we talk about in the industry. We need to scale also on a socioeconomic level to reach that tipping point of change. So yes, get involved, you know, invest a little bit, because these organizations need to be sustained. They're very low. They all have very low overheads. Let me tell you, you've been there, Regine, you know all about it. But that's the proof of the pudding. That's conviction. Put your money where your conviction is, as little as it is, and we'd be surprised how it will build a whole new momentum. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wiki. So the last point we'll take from Nathalie.
Hi, Regine. Sorry, I couldn't hear you well. Good morning, everyone. I don't want to repeat what most people said, but I feel it's a collective effort in several, level. I mean, what you said about the Chamber of Commerce, what Woodley said, and the gentleman also said. But I think also there's two things we have to make sure that we don't stop. Is bring the awareness of consuming locally. People in Haiti has the idea that always, eating outside product is always better. And in eating local product, they always been having, a question mark if it's good. If the first thing we need to bring more awareness of what is created in Haiti is good product, and Haitian people should start, prioritize more local products and consumption, which will help the economy. The second point is we need to not forget the diaspora in this process. They always want Haitian product. The problems that we can't find it outside of Haiti. Either we make, all the ambassadors or consulat around different countries to support this process and help those small businesses to be out there and find a mechanism to be able to ship those goods at a competitive price where people could know them and help those businesses in Haiti to be able to sell those products outside of Haiti. And not only in the States or Canada, we also have islands in the Caribbean who don't produce a lot, who don't have that much land, who could also benefit about Haitian products. So I think it's a collective effort. We'll make a change. It will be a lot of work, but it's feasible. Thank you.
Très bien. Merci for that, Nathalie. So if you guys are not aware, but Nathalie Angibault is Woodley's better half. We were talking about better halves earlier. That was a pioneer with the Consommer Local. Okay. Très bien. All right. So I think we got some really good insights from this conversation on production and consumption. Let's say the main issues to be focused on, it's that we discussed today. It's about the insecurity. It's about reinforcing education. It's about decentralization. It's about needing more people to be involved and engaged in the collective effort. I think we have some key examples of, some of the work that the chambers of commerce have ignited, what Consommer Local has ignited. So it's a matter of il faut valoriser ces efforts-là, because they're very much so still behind the scenes, and they lack involvement, they lack engagement. When I compare the chambers of commerce in Haiti versus the chambers of commerce outside of Haiti, the main difference that I feel is the involvement of the main stakeholders. It's like, who is this really important for? And whereas, certain businesses are very reluctant because, they don't feel the benefit of being active in the chambers of commerce. I think this is because the chambers are there for that collective effort. So very much so looking forward to this next segment, where Stefan from Creole Essence is going to share a bit of his experiences producing in Haiti, but more so the efforts that they've taken on to export, because most of their production is for export market. It's not for local consumption, which is an important element of the economy as well. And as producers grow, that's what they strive to do. They strive to also export.